Need to have a bell. Make sure when you all stand up, you watch out for the chair over here. I don't want anybody to fall over the side of the chair. Welcome. Welcome, man. What a great group. It's good to see everybody here. Let's get started the right way. If y'all would rise, let's honor our nation. Afterwards, we're going to have a moment of silence for those who are not able to be with us today. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. And up here in the front, we do have a place setting for those who are not with us today. And at the front of this, you guys are welcome to look at this anytime you want. Nathan Gage Ingram's father gave me a missing in action bracelet. His son is a graduate of Byron Nelson, Navy SEAL that last January was lost at sea. Thank you. Please be seated. So we're going to start off by going around the room, and if you would just stand up and tell us who you are. If you're a veteran, tell us branch of the military, and if you're a Marine, happy birthday. We'll just get that out of the way up front. And if you're not a veteran, just tell us your veteran connection while you're here. And we'll start back in that corner with Don.
I'm Don Starker. Was Chief Pilot.
And the man drinking right now?
Doug Rose, retired Air Force Master Sergeant. 2001, 1981 and 2005 when I served. I retired, and I'm also a Galaxy Ambassador. Yeah. Start asking questions about it, and I'll do my best to answer.
That follows the report on Afghanistan and our verdict.
I worked in the submarine service like 1956 to 1964. And tomorrow,
Happy birthday. How old?
85.
85. Fair enough. Happy birthday.
Jane Winners, that was mine, that I did go to the Navy with me. We went to Norfolk. It was great. First 2 years of my life.
Nora Bowen, U.S. Air Force, retired in 1994.
Welcome. Welcome.
Her latest U.S. Air Force fighter pilot flew with right?
Scott Spence, I served with both of these. The gal on my right, the guy on my left. A-10 pilot, retired Air Force.
Emily Laddish, retired Air Force, nurse practitioner. I served with both of them.
Josh Phillips, retired Army infantry.
How's that feel to say retired?
Retired, yeah.
I'm Nicole Archer. I'm the development director at Gallant View, and I'm married to her.
Steve Archer, on the industry, 2018, glad to be here. Happy birthday, Lori.
Andrea Arajo. I'm married to a retired vet, but I did get a President's Award for my volunteer while he was in the Marine Corps.
Very nice.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cesar Arajo. I served in the Marine Corps Infantry for 22 years, from 1998 till 2020. And I served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And he's our speaker today. So
And
we'll
he's
learn
our
more.
speaker, yeah.
And who's with you here?
Is our
CJ
son,
Arajo.
CJ.
He was born in Okinawa.
Right.
Future Marine.
Milan, Georgia, I'm not a Marine. United States Army, 1968 to 1973.
He identifies as not a Marine.
I can only stand up so many
Oh, you're
times a
good.
day.
You're good.
So, Dave Pacheco, Air Force. I served in the ranks of E2 to 05 between 1971 and 2006.
Were you drafted?
No, but I went to MEPS with the last group of draftees, and that was a sad bunch of people.
I bet they were.
They knew they were the last.
We don't bite much.
I'm Mac Harris, and I'm just here to support veterans.
Welcome, welcome.
Lee Atkinson, United States Air Force, 81 to 85, worked on B-52s.
Everything getting caught. Matthew Van Skyhawk, United States Marine Corps, 1996-02. Birthday, brother.
Ryan Drosky, U.S. Air Force. I got combat veteran 1979 to 2009. Wow. Long time.
Tony Androsky, retired Air Force, stepmother, Looking Glass, Night Watch. Happy birthday, Marines.
Thank you.
And who do you have with you?
I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh.
Very nice to have you here today. Are you a Marine? No. The look she gave me was.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Tommy Rios Jr. I served in the United States Air Force, retired, and spent some time in Korea, Japan, the beautiful Clovis, New Mexico. Thank you.
Also newly retired.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Man, I would tell Norman, 14 years, didn't quite make it to retirement. Got out for medical reasons because of the burn pit issues. So, loved it. Wish I could have stayed in. I'd still be in the day if I could have.
Welcome.
I'm Megan. I'm his wife. I'm also the project manager over Fort Worth Animal Control's brand new Cause for Patriots program that launches next Saturday.
Yeah, very nice.
Awesome.
We need to get you on the schedule to speak.
Skip Jones, United States Army 87 Minnesota.
Good morning, Jerry Mazinowski, U.S. Navy, retired for 20 years, East Coast Tomcat.
And newly certified subconscious restructuring coach.
Edward Swanson, everyone calls me Swanning, U.S. Army 2000 to 2010, 101st in Kosovo with infantry, and Iraq, Afghanistan, Jordan, 5th group, and some postgraduate work on all the other times. So,
Welcome. Glad to have you here.
oh, and this is Lucy.
Dennis Sheridan, Vietnam, 69, 70, and the year before that, the year after that. All right.
And my name's Carl Monger, Army veteran, infantry officer and ranger back in the 1900s. So, what do we have for agenda items? Let's see. Emily, you want to talk about Veterans Day?
Well, you know, I always talk about something. So, Veterans Day, I was not planning when Zach announced last breakfast that I would be doing this, and then Dennis called me up and said, come on, we'll partner up on this. So, instead of having the town run it, Dennis and I stepped in, and, you know, thank you to everybody that has volunteered to help us this time around, whether it's placing flags, being a standby person. We have some great speakers, very short ceremony, but it's gonna be fun. It will be 11 o'clock at the Veterans Park there by Beck Elementary. And it's usually an hour or so. If it's inclement weather, we will go to the fire station.
It will be good weather.
It's supposed to be gorgeous.
Yeah, great.
We've heard it, you know, excuse me. Next up, after I'm done with Veterans Day, we'll move on to Wreaths Across America. It's the 14th of December. It is at the Medlin Cemetery here in Trophy Club. Starts at 11. The same time they place the wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery. We will be doing a wreath ceremony. I and asking for any volunteers. I've already recruited a couple to help place the wreaths on the service stands. So that's separate from placing them on the graves. But we also need help placing the wreaths because it's our volunteers that help us. We have met our goal for the month or for the year on wreaths, wreath donations and placements. So we'll have that delivery coming early December. And it's always bring your kids, bring family. It's a great time to take pictures for Christmas cards. So more on that next month.
Now that is the next second Saturday, right? The 14th of December?
14th is
So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to meet here at 10, do breakfast, and then go there? Do you want to not do the breakfast and go there? What do you guys want to do?
Not do the breakfast.
Yeah.
Not do the breakfast and count that as the MVA thing for the day?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put that out to everybody. Anybody that you see that normally comes that's not here, please make sure that they know. And
I
yeah,
didn't even think of that.
I didn't either, but Kathy over here, the brain. Yeah, as soon as I walked in, she's like, hey, did you see my email?
I said that I would like.
And I do want to thank Emily for taking the lead on these events, and Dennis. It's got to be from the town, right? It can't be the town trying to drive it. And I'm going to be in Richardson on Veterans Day. I got asked to speak at a large company Veterans Day event, so I won't be at this event. So I'm really glad that you guys stepped up to take over. I appreciate that. Trying to think if there was anything else I want to say about that. If there is, I'll come back to it.
Monday night dinner?
Say again?
Yeah, Monday night dinner. They love it. Very fun.
For those that signed up for it.
Right? Okay. Do you want to, any other details on that? It's Monday night in Grapevine. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, give me one.
I was gonna say, I don't know
6 o'clock.
if they still need, I don't know if they still have open seats, but yeah, with me, I think so, yeah, the person that,
Yeah, Lane.
yeah.
Is this the first year they've done that as a large event?
No,
Yeah, full year.
Fourth year?
yeah, before the video,
At the convention center.
yeah, in Grapevine.
First year.
First year there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always been Grapevine.
While Zach's looking up additional details, anybody have any other announcements? Oh,
It's Veterans Dinner on the 11th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Grapevine Convention Center. You do need to register, so if you would like to register, I think today or tomorrow may be the last day, but I can send you that link through email, or it's on the Metroport Veterans Association Facebook page. So if you have any questions, please get with me. I can send a link. If you go on a computer, if you need help doing it, let me know. I'll try to do it on my own and get you our receipt.
all right, Zach, why don't you come up and introduce our speaker?
Use that.
Well, I'm very proud to announce the speaker that we have going on today. I've known, I can't call him by his first name. There's this mental Marine Corps block that's still there. So I always refer to him as, oh my gosh, I'll hate myself later. I always refer to him as Gunny. It's a pretty prestigious title in the Marine Corps. For those who know Marines, who are Marine, you know, Gunny is that infamous title that it resonates very strongly with the Corps and what it signifies. So I met Gunny about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years
TCC.
ago. We were both studying at TCC, and I remember very interestingly enough, I have a poor memory for those who know me very well, but I remember this. And Gunny, him and I were talking, and he in essence gave me a little bit of a motivational speech because I was wanting to quit school. I got into it, I think I was about 2 semesters in, and Carl was kind of encouraging me for a couple of years to get there, and I did get there. But when I did get there, I was like, this is not for me. I cannot pass math. I cannot stand the students who are younger than me, who have no respect, who have their own personal views and opinions that, you know, they contest mine. And Gunny, who was kind of saying, just keep going, keep going. You know, you've done harder stuff than this. You've done much more, you know, arduous moments in your life, so keep going. And I was all inspired, and then all of a sudden, he was gone. I was like, where the hell did Gunny go? I didn't see him in the Veteran Resource Center anymore. I needed that little bit of that brotherhood, that Marine Corps camaraderie that only Marines can convey one to another. And all of a sudden, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm at UNT now." And I was like, "Well, what are you doing there? You're not supposed to be there." And this is all on my head. But long story short, I found out that he was going to study addiction studies at UNT. And I asked him, why I was doing that, and then what did his experiences feel like when he was there. And everything that he told me, I remember he had a white hat that said UNT on it. And I was like, man, he really crossed the bridge. He didn't just get stuck here in a community school, like a couple of vets like myself, and then just kind of washed out. He crossed that rainbow bridge from this community college level to a university level. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to really do it. And so with that level of motivation, I was able to successfully cross that bridge myself. But now, again, he's leaving school. In a better form, though, he's graduating to UNT, and that's a big, big deal for a lot of us Marines, especially now he's going to addiction studies to help those that might have some bouts with substance use and substance abuse and things like that, and things that are symptomatic of that. But before that, before he became a counselor, a future counselor, before he became a college student, Gunny served as a United States Marine. And that was really inspirational to me. And the things that he experienced in his time in service resonated and aligned very, very closely with the things that I experienced in service and post-service as well. And whenever I met him, it was basically kind of a little bit older version of myself, kind of like a little bit further down the pipeline, but I'm like, okay, if it's good enough for Gunny, it's good enough for me. So I don't want to take much more of your time, but everybody put your hands together for Gunny.
Thank you so much, Zach. Love you, brother. Okay. And just pull it back. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, thank you very much for allowing me to be your guest speaker. Thank you to Zach and the Gallant Few for allowing me this opportunity to be here. This is such an honor to be able to speak to this audience, especially because a lot of y'all have experienced a lot of difficulties, maybe some loss, and just hardships. But with those hardships also come great times that we actually encountered. So let's see, hopefully I don't jack this up too much. Did it go? And of course I broke it. You know, Marines are notorious for it. We break things.
Yeah, actually, hold on a second. Let me,
All right.
I think it was still looking, left on the other one.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're just going to go over a couple things. Early life, military life, some of the combat deployments and experiences, retirement era, current occupation, and what I experienced as purpose in life or post-military. So early life, I was born in Houston, Texas in 1978. Grew up there, graduated high school. A year before graduation, went into the delayed entry program, and I was like, get me the hell out of here, please. You know, my stepfather was in the Army, so he was very disciplined, regimented, so it was a good thing. But I was always enrolled in sports because I didn't want to be at home. Prior to graduating in '98, like I said, I enlisted in the delayed entry program and took off. So I attended boot camp at MCRD San Diego. Upon graduation from that, went to SOI West School of Infantry as a basic infantryman. Then went to advanced training for machine gun, crew serve machine guns course, and got my first duty station to Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines. On our second deployment out there, September 11th happened. And it rocked the nation, it rocked the military services, and, you know, things just spiraled off from there. Some of the combat deployments, while I was on INI in Salt Lake City, Utah, we were augmenting reserve Marines to another sister battalion, and they had one availability for an infantry 03 sergeant. I volunteered for it, and in March of '03, I found myself out in Iraq. After that, I went out to 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, and I deployed to Afghanistan twice. First to Marja in 2008. We were the largest helo-borne operation that had ever been done into unknown territory. And while we were out there, we were getting ready to come back, I got promoted to staff sergeant. They're like, congratulations, you're a staff sergeant. You're going to combine that in our arms team, and you're going to be a platoon sergeant. I was like, oh, okay, sounds great. So our second deployment was actually to Marja. President Obama came out saying that he was going to deploy 1,500 Marines out to Afghanistan before Christmas, and we were already there. Go figure. So we conducted one of the largest operations out there to drive out the Taliban, and while we were out there, we lost my platoon commander, and it was a hard time with that. It kind of like spiraled a lot of good and bad things. The substance abuse, the coping skills, the mechanisms that I try to, normalize, which were not in a healthy manner. But from there, I went to recruiting duty. Recruiting duty just spiraled out of control because of the stresses of having to make missions, and you're all alone and unafraid out there trying to recruit. From there, went back to 2nd Battalion, 6th Marines, a sister battalion, and it was, another deployment and so on. Pre-retirement, 2019, I got approved for retirement, so I was like, yes. January 2020, our first baby was born, CJ Araujo, and yeah, I was 38 years old, and it was a blessing for us. He was born in Okinawa, Japan, and as I was getting ready to transition out of the Marine Corps, I started applying for college because I knew that I wanted to provide my family with the ability to, see their father or their husband, their family member, be successful. So, went to TCC, met great people like Zach at the Veteran Center, and it was just amazing to be able to connect with those veterans and support them. And they also supported me throughout the way. And, we all have to move on eventually, and I moved up to UNT. Called Zach. I was like, hey, man, I want to have breakfast, lunch, whatever the case is. And we talked, and things are going great. Now he's at UNT as well. So post-retirement, October 2020, I was fully retired, transferred to Selective Marine Corps Reserves, began attending TCC, changed my degree program while I was there from business management to health and public service, mental health counseling as a major, and substance abuse counseling with addiction studies as a minor, to try to get back to the military community and just people that suffer with mental health issues and also addictions, with substance abuse. And so hopefully January or December 2024, I'll be walking across that stage and, be a graduate. Thank you. So one of the things that I found as a purpose in calling is not all in this order, but to assist people with mental health problems. I suffer from PTSD, substance abuse, depression, and coping mechanisms that were in an unhealthy manner. Assisting people with physical and chronic disabilities, passion for helping veterans through stresses, post-military service, and also, last but not least, becoming a better father and husband to my family and a better member of society. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My email and my phone number's up there. If at any time you have issues or you need someone to talk to, please feel free to give me a call. It's non-biased. There's not going to be any like, oh, this person is this person is that, because as military veterans, we're always here to support each other. And with a lot of new individuals separating from the branch of service, there's also that feeling of isolation of not having that camaraderie that we had while we were in service. So if you don't reach out to me, reach out to somebody that knows what you're going through or that has walked your shoes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ma'am.
Question.
Absolutely.
I was surprised at the comment you made about being a recruiter and how stressful. Which was worse, in the field, in a war zone, or recruiter?
Oh, recruiting duty. They should issue a combat action ribbon for it's just with recruiting duty, you don't have a set schedule. You are your own boss. You make your own schedule, and you have to drive production. So 6 months after I went on recruiting duty, they were like, "Oh, your boss popped for orders to Okinawa, Japan. Congratulations, you're the new boss." Like, I've only been a recruiter for 6 months. I don't know anything. They're like, "You're a staff sergeant, figure it out." So it is what it is. So there's a lot of stresses that come with that, and yeah, it's just hard. Victoria, Texas. So we're considered the crossroads. During that time, that's where I met reconnected with my beautiful wife. We went to high school together. She was a cheerleader. I was a football player, and we reconnected and started dating. And she saw the good in me and a lot of the bad. So, and she helped me out with both of them. But recruiting duty was just as a boss, it was just stressful because you got to be everywhere.
It just seems like it would be fun.
Oh, you're definitely in the public's eye, but with that also comes a lot of stresses. Yes, sir.
Carlos, we hear a lot of different things about suicidal tendencies of people that are coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan, this, that, and the other. And it seems like the 22 used to be the number, but I think it's down to around 18 per month, but still that's not a good number. Do you really, when people were re-upping or redeploying 15 times or 12 times or whatever, do you think that's an addiction? Or do you think that's just, why were they going back so much?
I can't speak for others, but I know for myself, I felt, going back is a comfort because life out there in the suck is a lot easier than dealing with reality. Back here, the garrison, the politics, everything out there, you know what your job is.
Yeah.
So it's simple. Do as you're told and come home.
So it's just easier to go back to
It is.
the combat zone than it was to try to cope with the BS in garrison.
Absolutely, sir.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and plus, the people that you're working with. So you trust them, they trust you, and you've developed that brotherhood.
Okay.
Zach, do you have a question?
So, what events, maybe during your deployments or whatnot, what events influenced you to become an addiction studies leader?
Well, while I was in the Marine Corps, I was also a substance abuse counseling officer, and I had a lot of people coming in through my doors that had alcohol-related incidents, whether they were isolated incidents or so on. And I saw a lot of the same repetitive things of coping mechanisms, utilizing alcohol and depressive anxiety disorders and so on. So that's one of the reasons why, I became so passionate about wanting to help veterans, because transitioning out of the military is just so difficult without a support network. Once you have that support network, the sky's the limit, honestly. Yes, sir.
So you've experienced the system in the military, and now you're learning and getting a degree. The military doing a good job, or with with this or not?
I think the military is getting better. I mean, just like anything, it's all processes and standard operating procedures. So they're doing the best that they can. But the thing is, also, the military is a fighting organization. So I mean, it's kind of like weighing the options. Well, yeah, but our military veterans are they're doing the best that they can to provide the service. But a lot of military veterans don't want to go seek psychiatric help or anything like that because of the stigma and also the repercussions that may come to your career or keeping you from deploying. Yes, sir.
My question is, are you aware of Tarrant County Veterans Treatment Court?
No, sir, but I am now.
Well, I am aware of, and I participated in Veterans Treatment, Tarrant County Veterans Treatment Court. I would be happy to discuss it with you, and I can see where you would be a potential benefit to the veterans that are participating in the program. Because people like you need the help like I receive, and hearing you speak, your empathy and your direction seem like it was very good. And I would invite you to be my guest to the docket of Veterans Treatment Court so you can be introduced to working out in the program now.
Yes, sir. It would be an honor. Thank you so much. Your question? Yes, sir.
Thinking lessons learned, somebody that's getting ready to get out of the military, what's the first thing they should do?
First thing they should do is start getting all your paperwork ready, medical records and all that stuff for applying for your VA disability. Regardless whether you serve 4 years or 20 years, that is your right. You rate that. Second of all, I would start getting everything prepared for your combat-related special compensation pay. So what that actually does is if you are retiring, that actually does not tax your retirement. I just recently got my benefit letter back, and I will say it was a blessing. It's a long, tedious process, but it's worth it.
What do you say to those that say, I don't deserve anything from the VA, I got both my hands, both my feet? What do you say to them?
I was in the same boat. I was very prideful. I was very my platoon commander passed away. I've got survivor's guilt. I don't rate it. I don't deserve it. And you know what? You served your country honorably. You do deserve it. Let the government take care of you and your family, because right now you may not feel it, but later on down the road, you will feel something. You will have something come up. You will have some sort of issue that you may need to take care of. So please do yourself and your family a favor, and at least, explore the opportunity to be able to get that, your compensation or services.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, we all know that combat deployments can be pretty arduous, right? Things going off, people will get lost, people will get lost in them, like. But with all that being said, there's a lot of funny things that happen on deployments, right? There's the dark humor, right? There's funny things that happen. What was that enjoyed either enjoyed or was funny to you on any of your deployments?
Well, my first deployment, we were
Tell about what you did to your recruits when you were a recruiter.
Oh my goodness, no. All right. Marines, we have a sick sense of humor, so I don't know if your recruiters did this to you, but I was the boss of a recruiting station in Victoria, Texas. So when I would send off my recruits to boot camp, obviously you got access to all their information, birthdays and so on. So we definitely I like shredding paper because, PI. So we would definitely get a package and fill it up with nothing but the shreddings. And we'd also like to send Playgirl out there. And, just funny things, or, hey, your recruiter's your best friend. Please go give him a hug. He loves you. He wants the best for you. You go you. So it was just sick stuff. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Nathan Clam, we heard you inquired about the United States Air Force. We would like to have you in our ranks. Of course, the drill instructors see this like, Nathan Clam, front and center. What is this? No, but when I was on combat deployment, one of my guys was like, patrolling is boring, walking around. He actually built speakers to his Kevlar. So we connected to an iPod. So we were jamming. He was point. So we were jamming out to patrolling music. Most of the time it was AC/DC, but but no, I mean, just like anything with the good, there's bad. So sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's really crappy. Anything else? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It was an honor. Thank you, Gary.
I gave Gunny one of the Gallup coins, and on the coin, on the front side at the bottom, it says self-training and responsibility. Star, right? It's Gallup star. Self-training and responsibility. You have the ability to choose your response to anything that happens. And what Gunny's done is he's taken charge of that, right? As he went through his transition process, he looked at his potential future business career and said, that's not going to do it for me. That's long-term, that's not what I want to be. And so he changed direction. Part of what goes along with the Gallup Star is what we call the Gallup Azimuth Check. And we encourage veterans once a month to go on the gallupu.org page, find the Azimuth Check link, and go take the Azimuth Check once a month. The Azimuth Check is going to tell you where you are right now today, emotionally, physically, spiritually, professionally, and socially. And if you find in there that an area is not what you want it to be, you have the opportunity to redirect. Just like when you're patrolling, you're heading towards an objective and you find out, no, that's not the objective, now it's over here, so you got to shoot a new azimuth, and you got to go that new direction. That's why we roll all of that terminology into it, because that's our journey when we transition out of the military. It's a journey, it's following the azimuth to our objective. And identifying that objective is the one thing that most veterans that I run into that have difficulty, they have not identified that objective. And so they're just kind of wandering. It's like doing a movement to contact, waiting to find out when the enemy's going to shoot at them. And that's not a great way to
Or you're just patrolling lost in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Hey, thank
Good luck to
so
you.
much.
Whatever we can do to help you out in your future. Right there. Okay, good. Thanks. All right, anybody else? Any other last minute questions or comments? Emma?
So I texted Elaine, who sets up the dinner on Monday night, and she said it's too late to register. We don't have any openings, and we will always have last minute cancellations. So if you don't mind coming under those circumstances, she says I'm happy to put their name and number on a waiting list. If we have any cancellations before Monday, I can call them. So that's where we stand right now.
So if you want to go and you haven't registered, ping Emily. Emily gets you connected to whoever can get you on that list. Last thing I want to do, Zach, stand up real quick. So Zach, everybody, this is Zach. Zach was recognized this last week by Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. There's a, oh look, he's got a picture on. Is that the screensaver on your phone? I walked by earlier and he was on his phone, and there was a picture of Zach, and I was like, wow, Mylan's got a picture of Zach on his phone. Yeah, so what a great honor, Zach. We're proud of you, the work that you do, recognized by a congressional representative. That's awesome. Congratulations. All right, so reminder, next month, not here. We're going to be in Medlin, right? Do you need people there early to do any setup stuff? Because we could be there early.
The only thing is just to help, pass out programs and things like that. We never know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to be there early, I would say we're unloading boxes of wreaths and things like that. probably about 10:30.
I volunteer Scott to drive the golf cart back and forth in the parking lot.
Because that is its beauty every year.
Well, a little history on this, and correct me if I get any of the details wrong. But when I moved here back in 2012, Jim Perro was starting to do a Memorial Day observance. And when he told me we were going to do it at the Veteran Memorial over by the swimming pool and Trophy Club, I said, "Are there any veterans in Medlin?" And so he went and looked and came back and said, "Well, yeah, there's like a dozen." So we moved the Memorial Day observance to Medlin. But what happened over the years is we found out there's not a dozen. How many are there?
74.
There's 74 veterans that are buried in Medlin Cemetery. And so what's really cool about the way the ceremony goes is when you pick up your wreath, you get the location of that veteran's grave. So you go there, say their name aloud, place the wreath. If you want to take a picture, take a picture. But this has grown from 10 years ago, we didn't have anything like this, to now we're putting wreaths on 74 graves at Medlin Cemetery. That is just absolutely amazing.
The good thing is we're actually associated with Arlington National Cemetery, and the whole wreath laying across not only our country, but there's I want to say 20-some sites overseas where wreaths are placed. So we actually belong to the organization. This isn't something that we just do off the cuff. It's organized by
And we actually there was a volunteer that looked all the headstones up, and Joe located them. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And then
That's
drove
awesome.
over to other cities too, people from other cities, Fort Worth, Euless, and other cities have kind of trickled in, so just be here for that one.
Yeah, awesome. All right, anything else for the group?
I'd like to say something.
Yes, sir.
We've been participating with a different cemetery for about 4 years now. There's something very powerful when you say that veteran's name and that wreath down. It's such a touching ceremony, and I love it. We do it every year.
the Kleenexes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so next month, we'll see you at Medlin. 2 months, we'll see you back here. Zach, do you know who the speaker is in January yet? Put you on the spot. So, do we have one? I thought we had one.
I got one ready to go, and you behind me,
All right.
but he's scheduled for a later date.
Okay, good. Well, I will see you all at Medlin next month.
Great.
Thanks for being here. Hey, Zach, would you? Hey, Doug, would you stop for a moment?